How's everybody doing? How you doing? Well, we're going to do part 4. We're gonna begin with Scorpio. I started it, but it cut off on me on 15 minutes instead of 25 minutes because I had to clear my my iPhone and storage, internal storage, that kind of millennial stuff. With that technology stuff. So I had to clear my phone and clean all that stuff up. So I'm able to now, continue with my video because I'm going away to Europe in a couple of days and I'm gonna be gone for about a week and then I'll be back. But I'm gonna try to finish the series on the compatibility. Before I leave, I also got 2 shows running at the same time. One already started on the 5th at Columbia University. And then I have another one that is the youth theater, that you guys have been donating. We need some more donations, please, So, it's been really, really busy, I'm a Virgo with a lot of Leo. Hello, the showmanship, I have a lot of Leo, just a lot of Leo. But anyway, I want to continue about chart compatibility and talking about Scorpio as a water and the compatibility with Earth. We spoke about Cancer, cardinal water. So now we're going to talk about Scorpio. Now, I have to say that with Scorpio, there's an exception here. There's an exception here. With Scorpio, it's not that... See, Scorpio can be compatible with anybody. He can be. Remember, he's a chameleon. And this man exercises tremendous control. And so does the woman of the sign. They are... I told you, they're natural-born witches. Witches and sorcerers. They're natural born. I mean, Mercury went to Hades, to learn a lot of, the tricks of trade. That's why, the Pluto and Scorpio, and Pluto, Scorpio and Virgo go so well together. Because, even in the mythology, they are very simpatico, And, Virgo is the only sign, I believe, of all 12 signs that can handle Scorpio. Because there is a powerful mythology connected to Scorpio and Virgo. I myself am a Virgo, and I'm in a relationship with a Scorpio, and I have been for the past 10 years. And before that, my wife was a Scorpio, and I was with her for a good 7 years. So there is a simpatico energy that Scorpio has with Virgo, a mutable earth sign, considering that Scorpio is fixed water. And what does that mean when we say fixed water? Well, what we mean when we say fixed water is about an attitude, a modality of being that is based on a particular value system that is only understandable and only respectable by Scorpio. Scorpios create their own value system. They are their own law unto their being. And if they want to be with you, then you best believe that there is something there about you that the Scorpio man or Scorpio woman finds valuable and useful. Scorpio is about power, control. It rules the 3 basic instincts of life, which is sex, which is the vehicle in which we come here into this plane. Okay? Sex. Money. You need money. Without money, this world would be completely unmanageable, chaotic. Money tames the desires of the heart. And to master money takes great devotion and concentration and commitment and sacrifice. All those things Scorpio and Virgo represent those principles. And then there's death. The death of the physical body or the death of a particular way of being or a particular way of life that transforms your life from a poor man to a rich man. That's a Scorpio transformation. From rich, now you're poor. And from poor, now you're rich. Life-altering, life-changing events that can cause you to live a whole new way of life based on that change and on that transformation. So understand that Scorpio represents the inevitable change that will take place with or without your cooperation. This is Pluto, the ruler of Hades. He's so terrifying that he has to be in the bowels of the earth and below the depths, so the gods above don't see him. The light of Zeus or Kronos or Helios, whichever, pick which sun, pick your choose, reaches Hades. Because really it doesn't reach Hades. Hades' own light of transformation and determination and focus is what lights Hades. It's not the light of the sky or of the gods above. Pluto has developed his own light to light the dark corners of the underworld. And that's a whole new knowledge, experience, base that the Scorpio person can bring to you. So, with that kind of compatibility, who would qualify to withstand the fiery sting of Scorpio and the dire demands of attention and focus and commitment and sacrifice on your own behalf to be able to tame even a mustard seed of the energy of Scorpio? It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible. So you see, Scorpio, both the man and the woman, they strive. They strive on conflict. They are vampires. You will never outsmart a Scorpio, out-defeat him. You're certainly not going to destroy him either. He will destroy you before you get to even think about destroying him. Although he'll admire for the fact that you think that you could. See? So with that type of energy, you can be compatible with anybody. Because the Scorpio man ain't going to give a fuck, or the woman, what baggage you bring. They don't have to care. All they want is your ass or your pussy, and they are good. And, you handle your business the way you handle your business. Don't bring that shit around. They don't care. So, in reality, with Scorpio, it's hats off. All bets are off. They really are. Because, Scorpio can be with a Taurus, which is the polar opposite. The polar opposite. So that means that there's going to be conflict. There's going to be conflict. And the Taurian may be completely upset by that conflict, but still be compelled to stay. And the Scorpion, if he's bored, he'll fuck with the Taurian, just to stir shit up, because the Taurian is so routine-based and so thinking inside the box that he won't see that he's being played by the Scorpion. And that keeps the Scorpion satisfied and tamed and kind of balanced for a while. And such as when the Scorpion is in those rare instances where he's calm and kind of cool, the Taurian will take the rug right off his feet. And whoa, here we go again with the tug and war. The 180 degree, like I mentioned in part 1, the compatibility, the fire, the water, and earth, the opposition versus the square and the trine and the sextile. So understand, the essence of fixity that's involved here. There is no way to tame the Scorpio nature. The Scorpio man is going to get along with Gemini. Gemini is Mercury, which is the ruler of, which is, rules Virgo and it rules Mercury. So remember, Mercury was the only planet of all the 7 planets in the mythology that can go to Hades and back out. The only, not even Jupiter, Zeus could not go to Hades and survive. He'd have to, that's his brother. Pluto is his brother, right? One rules the underworld and one rules the top of Olympus. And Mercury, the messenger of the gods, is neutral. So he's in between. So he can go to Hades, which means they can stand the heat of Scorpio. So a Gemini and a Virgo, here we go Virgo again. And that's a mutable, simpatico sign as far as elemental, because it is earth with Scorpio, which is water. So that makes it already lacking key simpatico. Now with Gemini, which is an air water, which represents a square, that conflict is necessary for Scorpio to be able to feel like he's somebody, or that she's somebody, or that there's something, or that they have some kind of excitement or energy going on that they can feed off of. Because the Scorpio energy, in order to feel comfortable and feel empowered and in control, he needs to continually feed, or she feed. And they feed from conflict because they love that shit. It gives them a boner, both man and woman. It gives them energy. And that's what makes them vampiristic. And there's no morality in the mix either. None at all. So, with Scorpio, the best sign that it can align itself with concerning compatibility will be Virgo. Because Virgo won't take no shit from Scorpio, man or woman. Scorpio is the analyzer. Remember, he's ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is the symbol that's in the front of Baphomet, the Satanist, or the 15th key of the tarot card key, the devil. And you see the symbol of Mercury in the forehead, letting you know that the devil can't be the devil if he ain't fucking smart. And he's been Lucifer way before humanity even came on this plane and on this planet. So understand the importance and the ancient history, anthropology that's involved in the mystery of Scorpio. Scorpio can handle any relationship. Gemini, I connected it mythologically. Virgo, please. That's Persephone and Pluto, the biggest romance in the cosmos. That's our astrological version of Romeo and Juliet. Where do you think William Shakespeare got that from? So understand the power of that. It's a love affair that was first made in the heavens before it came down through literature here on earth. So you'll know, beyond the Hellenistic period, which defined the Greco-Roman Renaissance. So understand that with Scorpio, look, he go with Cancer. Cancer is a cardinal water, and Cancer can flow. It can flow with Scorpio, and vice versa. Or they're going to have their problems, they're going to have their conflicts. Scorpio will go but too far, and Cancer will not be brought to the edge, because that Capricorn polarity in Cancer will let her spring back and go pow right to the kisser. So understand that Scorpio does very well with Cancer. Leo, here is a problem. Here is a problem. There are so many Scorpios and Leos, both man or woman. And understand that Scorpio is water and Leo is fire, and that's a square. That's a square. That's why I had to discuss that on my first compatibility part 1. Because I want to teach you why this is so. Leo is irresistible to Scorpio, and And Scorpio is irresistible to Leo. They both have a love-hate relationship. They love each other. They hate each other. They love and romance each other, and they conquer the world together. And yet they polarize nations to fight against each other. And then in the valiant valor, they commit. It is the biggest soap opera going. It is. You know, when it comes to... Oh, I got to take a drink on that one. I got to take a little drink on that one. Ooh, I didn't stop until... Whoa. It takes work for folks to do all this. It takes work, baby. And I didn't even start. I didn't even open it yet. You know, so understand that this is absolutely fatalistic. Do you know the movie Fatal Attraction? We watched that movie. It came out, I think, in the 90s, early 90s or late 80s. Okay? Or Basic Instincts. Watch those movies. That represents the Leo Scorpio dynamic. Oh, the War of the Roses with Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas, a movie that came out in the 80s. The War of the Roses. You gotta watch that shit. That is Scorpio and Leo. It is a love-hate relationship, and there is no meeting of the minds. They're both powerful signs. Going pow, almost like Hiroshima. Like the explosion. And nothing grows to this day in that part of the world. So understand the Scorpio is, he good. He good with Leo. And of course, I mentioned Virgo. That's the eternal love affair of all love affairs. It's Scorpio's love and devotion to Virgo. And vice versa. And it don't matter the sex, you know. Yeah. And it don't even matter the gender. The same gender loving that a Virgo, Scorpio, as well as heterosexual, bisexual, you know. And they always seem to be the most harmonious. They truly do live in a very beautiful way. I mean, I do too, being myself with a Scorpio now for 10 years. We relive the mythology of Persephone and Hades, you know. But we're strong. Virgo is smart. We can be just as diabolical as Scorpio. And that's why we can handle the heat of Scorpio. To their surprise. Now let's talk about Pisces. And we're going to talk about Pisces a little more when we go into part 5. You know, but Pisces is mutable water. And it is extremely simpatico as well with Scorpio. So they can be together. That's a trine. They can relate with each other. It's just that the Scorpion can become so fixated in his routine that Pisces sees him or her for who they are, and then they can become bored. And then the tables can really turn between Pisces and Scorpio. You know, they tend to mirror each other's weaknesses and each other's strength. And then, but they also are extremely aware of each other's shadow. And when you are aware of the shadow element of yourself and of the partner that you're with, it can be a game changer, because it can take the interplay that occurs between the two of you to such a very toxic and destructive level, in which both of you will not be able to come back the same again. You know, it really depends on the level of commitment that the Pisces is willing and also truthful. That the Pisces is able to say, you know what, you're right, this isn't right, I need to do better and improve, you know. And it also, with Pisces, is complex, because you also have to add in the factor of age. You have to add the factor of age and maturity. You know, you have Pisces, if you're dealing with a Pisces that's below 30, then you're not going to have someone that's going to be completely committed and be consistent about their commitment. They are going to be swayed and pulled like the changing tides of the ocean. I mean, you've been to the beach. I've been to the beach. Sometimes we can't stand still in the water. It pulls, the currents pulling, and you have no choice but to wobble in the water and even fall a few times, not meaning to. Well, those are the same emotional current that pulls Pisces in different and unpredictable directions. That even the Piscean man or woman caught up in the euphoria of the moment may not even see that they are actually drifting out into sea and reaching dangerous waters. Pisces shares a universal mindset that doesn't allow her to pay attention to the particular instant of the moment when she's experiencing her euphoria or state of hallucinogenic existence. Whether they've achieved that through alcohol or drugs or just mere the strength of fantasy of their own will. Pisces is our journey back to God. He is our journey back to God. And being our journey back to God, excuse me. Okay, sir. Oh, that open. Sorry. And being our journey back to God, represents a surrendering of ego, where the ego must die. My son-in-law, William Porter, which is right here, he just came out of the hospital. He's been, how you doing, William? Say hello. Pretty good. There he is. Say hello. This is Aquarius, and a fine man too. But, what can I say? They when you fine tune with Pisces, you're surrendering to God. And surrendering to God, nothing's going to bother you. Pisces as a water sign can be so forgiving and so agreeable and surrendering and giving and sacrificing to any sign. But that's the problem, because with Pisces, she tends not to get real justice. I mean, this girl can really, really, like Miss Cancer, get hurt. Or the Pisces man. Or not really. The Pisces man usually does the hurting, because he could be such a whore. And yet he's so irresistible that you love him anyway. And easily forgive him. Not so much with the Pisces female. No, she needs to be protected. She needs protected. Of all of the signs that I have to talk about concerning Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, the one that needs most protection is Pisces. Pisces is vulnerable. And in being vulnerable, it can tend not to grow and evolve if they are associated with someone that doesn't treat them in kind. So if I had a Pisces come to me, a woman or a man, I would always go towards the signs that I think will be more stabilizing for Pisces, which will be Taurus, especially Capricorn. But Capricorn can take advantage of Pisces and try to hurt her through his acts of superiority, thinking that this is a guinea pig now that he can use and toy with. But then again, it depends if he has a beautiful bubble fish. But if it's a great white, the Capricorn man better be careful with Miss Pisces or Mr. Pisces, because that can turn the tables on you. And they're quite vindictive too. They're a lot tougher than they seem, even though people are convinced that they are that weak. And they're not. What Pisces really is misunderstood. She's misunderstood. He's misunderstood. But because there's a part of them that always contains their inner nature, which is pure and innocent, and they don't want to share that, a lot of times they can bring to their vibration that which they fear. The question with Miss Pisces or Mr. Pisces is that and I have to go deeper in with Mr. Pisces because he's different than Miss Pisces. Miss Pisces can be a beautiful flower growing, even a wildflower growing in the marsh, and be completely happy being that. But then there needs to be shrubs that are growing around it to protect her from the fierce sun and predatory animals or even the roughness of elements. Because like a sparrow, it's that sensitive. And we done, and we're gonna do part I guess 5.